Hi guys, Korean movie recapped here. Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm going to recap a 2014 Korean movie called Hot Young Bloods. This movie is about a playboy student who has an ambition to enjoy every girl in his school. On the other hand, a girl's gangster leader also loves him. So, how does he conquer the girls? And also how the gangster leader shows her love to him? Does it go well? Let's find it out. The movie starts with a handsome boy named Gil, who leads a small group with his two silly friends. Gil is well known as a playboy who always makes many girls fall in love with him. This time, he is trying to seduce a nerdy girl. Even though her friends have warned her, she is still in his trap and comes to his dinner invitation. Because of his prowess in seducing, she falls in love with Gil and even wants to continue to watch movie at the theater. There, Gil takes out his ace and can kiss her all he wants. It turns out that his mission is to enjoy all girls in his school. Even so, he turned out to be a loser and very scared of the gangs in his school. One day, there is a newcomer from Seoul in his school, named So-hee. She is able to make all boys fascinated by her, including Gil. But, there is a person who doesn't like her existence. She is Suk, the leader of the strongest girl gang in their school. When Gil passes, she forces him to chat and asks why he seduces all girls in school except her. Unable to answer her question, Gil is forced to come to her hideout tonight. At night, Suk suddenly transforms into a beautiful girl by dressing up and making up her face. After waiting for a while, he comes. But it's Gil's silly friend who stands in for Gil, which makes her furious. He tried his luck by touching Suk, making her mad, and smacking him until he bleeds. The next day, there's a fight between two gangs. It is a one-on-one battle, done by both leaders. And Gwang, the leader of the gang from another school, wins the battle. After the fight, suddenly Suk appears, looking for Gil. Gil tries to explain that he won't have any relationship with her because he knows that Suk loves her. They are not talking too much because Gwang immediately calls Gil. He is asking about what he's doing with Suk and then he punches Gil. A few days pass, Gil starts his move by giving a dinner invitation to So-hee, but she doesn't come. Gil tries his luck again by teasing her like he usually does. But, she doesn't give any response. Meanwhile, Suk is also making some moves by asking his friend about what Gil likes forcefully, and later giving Gil brand new shoes that he wants. He comes to Suk because he doesn't like what she has done. But not with the shoes, that makes him keep it. The next day, it turns out that Gwang knows he got new shoes from Suk and forces him to give them to Gwang. Day by day, Gil still tries to catch her attention by taking care of her from a distance and giving her some presents. One day, when they are about having farming class in fields. So-hee is not used to being in the fields, she is bitten by a leech. Swiftly, Gil takes care of her and even being too much. He also accompanied her home romantically by lighting her way using his bicycle. Since then, So-hee finally wants to have lunch with him. And they are having a date. But, Suk accidentally sees them on a date, which makes her cry badly. In the evening, when they are about to date again, Gil is acting weird, and his hand is reaching her body. Unlike other girls, So-hee is angry and leaves him. Since then, they never want to talk again. One day in class, Suk sees So-hee's belonging, a cigarette. Then, she comes to her and warns her not to smoke for her health. So-hee responds to her by asking her to talk privately. In the toilet, she wants Suk to forget that, and she rushes to Suk. They are fighting without being interrupted. A moment later, Gil comes to break them up. So-hee pretends to be dumb like she's innocent. In the principal's office, their parents are being called and start arguing to defend their daughter. Fed up with this condition, Suk is shouting and she quits from the school. At night, it appears that she doesn't want to come home and stay in Gil's hideout. When she sleeps, Gil appears and takes care of her. Suk wakes up and they are about to kiss. It turns out that So-hee is seeing that and hates him more. Gwang also knows that. The next day, Gwang and his gang are looking for Gil. No one wants to protect him and leave, including his best friends. When he is being beaten, Suk comes to rescue him. She asks him to go and she is taking care of them all. On their way home, they flashback about their past. They have been friends since childhood. Until Gil's father came back from abroad, his mother suddenly left home. His father was drunk and brought by Suk's mother. Since then, he knows that his father is cheating and hates Suk because of her mother. This is the reason why he cannot love and even be her friend again. Gil also asks her why she loves him. But she is ashamed to tell him that she loves him because of his kindness during their childhood. She prefers to say no reason for her love and leaves. Gwang appears doesn't satisfied with what he has done and is thinking of threatening So-hee. One day, they come to So-hee and harass her badly to get revenge on Gil. There, the teachers catch them, but it is too late. When she is about to go home, Gil waits in front of her house to give her a gift. Gil gets a slap from her and asks to kill Gwang because of what he has done to her. Knowing that story, Gil wants to kill Gwang badly. He starts to spy on him and trains every day. But when the day comes, Gil is still a coward. He does not have any courage to touch Gwang. On the contrary, he gets bullied. When he comes back home, his father asks him why he gets beaten. They are fighting. Gil accidentally mentions that his mom left because of his father. Surprisingly, his brother explains everything to him. The one who cheated was his mom. Nevertheless, his father still loves his mom and has been waiting for her to come home for many years until now. This truth frustrates him a lot. On the other hand, Suk still worries about Gil getting bullied by Gwang. She asks Gwang to leave him alone. Hearing that, Gwang agrees but with conditions. He wants her to leave his gang and hands it over to him. Suk agrees with that. But after that, her former gang is waiting for her. On the way to school, Gil is still frustrated. There, he meets Gwang, but nothing happens. Gwang is just telling the truth, that Suk turned herself to protect Gil. It turns out that Suk gets beaten by her former gang without any intention to fight back. Knowing the truth, he suddenly kicks Gwang and punches him. They are fighting until they fall from the train to the lake. When Gil wakes up, he is leaving and heading to meet Suk. But after he arrives at her home, it turned out that she had left and headed to Seoul. This makes Gil very frustrated with everything that happened. At the end of the movie, Gil has graduated from his school. On that day, he gets a lunch invitation from So-hee. So-hee is waiting for him, but he doesn't come up and only orders food for her. On the other hand, Suk appears to be working in a factory in Seoul. There, it turns out that Gil is visiting her and using a wedding suit with a big flower bouquet in his hand. Without further ado, he immediately proposes to her, and they get married. Subscribe to watch more videos like this. Turn on notifications, like, and comment to help out our channel. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.